Hey guys, this is Return to Tennis. I'm Aaron. Thanks for returning. Got something a little different today. We're in the kind of the workshop area. So recently we acquired a batch buy of Donnay Pro One rackets. Included 4 of the Donnay Pro Ones from 1992, what they call the newsprint paint job, which is the last paint job Agassi ever played. He played at the US Open in 1992, and then in 1993 he was with Head. So we got 4 of those. 2 of them had been played. 2 of them are new old stocks, brand new. We also acquired a Donnay Pro One International, which is a 95 square inch racket, very short handle. When I first got it, I thought it was a junior, but it's not. It's just really short handle. Almost a full. It looks like it's about 26 3/4 length, but not a very long handle on it. I believe Coretta played that racket for a while. But something else that was in the batch, which we were really excited about, was this. An original Pro One, blue and yellow, a little beat up, to be expected. It has a serial number of 876.90. If the 87 is what we believe it is, which is a production year, it's made in 1987. The problem, besides being a little beat up, I mean, it's manageable. No head guards back then, so it's understandable. No grommets. We're going to talk about that, what we're going to do with that in a minute. But it has the original bubble-shaped end cap. Now, the problem, like I have the Apollo Pro, the Formula Pro, I have the Fuga Pro, and I have a Kevlar Pro 2. All of them had this end cap. Now, the Fuga, the Apollo, and the Formula Pro, all the end caps were great. They were perfect. The Kevlar Pro wasn't, and when I removed the grip, the old grip, because it was all worn and tattered and destroyed, worse than this one, when I removed it, the end cap crumbled into pieces. It was gone. I had to put basically a generic end cap on it to cover it, because this fell apart the minute I removed the grip. It was not salvageable. So what we're concerned with is when we take this grip off, the same thing's going to happen, that this is going to come apart. And the reason we're concerned about that is because I can see cracking all through the end cap. Let me take it there. You can see it, maybe. There are cracks all over it. So we're going to try to preserve it. We're going to try to do something to save this end cap before we remove the grip, to re-grip it. And then we have to deal, and if that's successful or not, we have to deal with the grommet issue. We're going to talk about that next. So basically what we're looking at with this video today is, can we save this frame enough that we can take it out and hit it? I'm sure I can. I just, the quality of how we do that is going to be the question. So what are we going to do about this end cap? Well, we have a 3-step process we're going to try. First, we are going to use a silicone sealant. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of use our thumb, and we're going to press the sealant over the cracks, trying to fill any gaps, any holes that may be there that we can't see, and form a barrier to try to bond it to itself. When that dries, we are going to use a spray adhesive, right? It's just a spray-on glue. It's good for things like foam or cloth. It's not really heavy duty. I'm just trying to put a light film on top of it to try to help seal it a little tighter to itself. And then after that's all said and done, we're going to paint it red. So we'll end up with what we hope is 3 layers of material that will kind of maybe hold it together, so that when I take this old grip off, it doesn't crumble away. But we're going to see how that goes. So it's a 3-step process. We're going to start with the silicone. And what we're going to try to do is just put little dabs on and use our thumb to kind of fill in the cracks as best we can with the silicone. And hopefully this will help bond it. So we got the silicone in. You can see it's all greased up there. Hopefully this will sink into the cracks, kind of fill them in a little bit, and kind of form a bond there that it will not separate once we remove it. So this part's done. We're gonna have to let this set for a while, probably about an hour or so. And then we're gonna hit it with the spray glue, and then we're gonna hit it with the paint, and we're gonna see what happens. All right. Let's see how it goes. All right, so all 3 steps have been completed. Silicone, spray adhesive, paint. So after I applied the silicone, I noticed that the cracks had expanded. I think the silicone got in between the cracks where there were any openings where it's just what I wanted to kind of seal it, and then it dried, and when it dried, it expanded and opened the cracks up a little bit bigger. They were much more noticeable. I hit it with the spray glue, the spray adhesive, try to bond it, and then we have since painted it. So there's the finished product, right? If you can see it well enough. You cannot really see the cracks at all. Very, very, very little. They are barely visible now that we have painted it. So now, moment of truth. We are going to remove these old grips in hopes that this bubble-ended end cap does not crumble. Full disclosure, I have no idea if any of these steps are going to work. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is just a kind of a plan I put together in hopes that it would succeed. So I could have maybe gone about this the entirely wrong way, and it's going to be a total disaster and failure at the end here. But first, we're going to get the turner grip off and see what's underneath. I don't know what that is underneath. I expected to find a Donnay original leather grip. Okay, here we go. This feels like it's leather. I'm not sure what it is. Okay, got the turner grip off. So far, so good. What is this? Supreme, maybe? I can't read it. Okay, next, we're gonna get a whatever. This feels like it might have been leather because it's really rough and decayed. It doesn't feel like a synthetic, which crazy if it's pink leather. That would be really weird. I've never seen that. Let's see here. So is the palette under here? Okay, we're to the palette. This was definitely like a replacement leather grip of some kind, I think. We're going to replace this with a head Hydrosorb, which will bring the overall weight of the racket down, I think, quite a bit. It can be maybe make it a little more manageable, but it will become a little more head heavy. Balance will shift. That's all right though. Okay, here we go. Final. Is the end cap going to survive? Ha 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 ha. It did. It's, oh, we didn't break it. It did not crumble. It did not crumble. This was not a total loss. Okay. We're going to try to get some of this off. We got stuff here we can work with maybe a little bit here. I'm just trying to get off this excess paint residue as best I can. Just make sure it's flattened out completely. I don't want to do too much near the end cap though. Afraid if I by trying to sand this stuff off near too close to the end cap, it might break. Okay, that'll do. We'll go with that. Okay. So success. We've managed to preserve it. I can still see it is cracked all the way down the sides. Once I got that grip off, I could see where some of the cracking was extending toward the pallet. So we're going to use a head Hydrosorb, 18 gram. Total weight, right? Yep, 18 grams of weight. If you use the whole grip, I imagine I may be using the whole grip because these handles were longer than what is standard. Designed for that two-handed backhand kind of grip. So we're going to get this on. As best we can. And then we will go from there. So the goal with this right now is to position this kind of over top as it wraps where that cracking is, to kind of lock it in place, because that's what the old grips were doing. They were kind of holding everything together nice and tight. Okay, let's get this on. So far, so good. Still going to end up cutting some of this off, it looks like. But not as much as I would on a regular handle. Not very much at all. Wow, we're not going to really cut very much off. As I said, these handles were a bit extended in length. They weren't as short as others. We're going to try to make a nice little cut here. Fit it. That's all we cut off, not much. We used most of that grip. Get our finishing tape on. Okay. Saved the end cap. Got the new grip on it. That leaves only one problem. Grommets. That's what's next. Okay, so we're finally ready to move on to what's going to be the most difficult part, right? We've preserved the end cap. We've replaced the grip. Now we run into the problem of grommets. right? So when this arrived, it was strung. The strings were broken, but it had strings in it. I cut all the strings out and started removing them. And as I removed the strings, the grommets that were in it just fell out onto the table. They were not the original grommets. They were replacements that had kind of been cut to fit, but not secured into the frame in any way. So they were kind of like Frankensteined in there. And as soon as I started pulling stuff out, they just fell all over the place. And I was like, okay, that's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to use these grommets. We need to find some other options. So we cleaned the frame off, started searching to get original grommets. There was a vendor that had some. He wanted $175 a set. That's not going to happen. I could go try Prince original graphite 107 grommets. I think that might have been what was in here, but those didn't seem to fit exactly like they should. That's why they fell all over the floor. And they were, I mean, literally they were cut into like almost single pieces for the most part. It didn't work. So I started thinking about, okay, what else could we do? How else could we do this? The Prince grommets maybe aren't the best thing, but they may be the only thing. So that was like plan B. What else can we do? Well, this is a Donnay Pro One 2023 octa-core 107. I really like this racket. And so it got me thinking, this one is supposed to be the same mold as this one from 1991. Exact same mold, same drill pattern, which got me wondering, does it have the same drill pattern as the original from 1987? When I overlaid it, one on top of the other, and I looked at it, man, it is really close. It is really close. They look almost to be a perfect match. So I figured if I can get some grommets for this, maybe they would work in those. I contacted Donnay. They offered grommets for every racket on their website except this one. I sent a series of messages. I even called their office. I emailed or I messaged their Amazon store too. Where are these grommets available? I really never got a response until one day I got a message from the Amazon store. They said, yeah, the grommets are available. I went back on the website and they were on there. They added them to the website. So I ordered a couple different sets because they come in sets of 2. They sell you 2 sets of grommets in a pack. So I bought 2 packs. That would give me 4 sets because I like this. I want to keep playing this and I'm going to want replacement grommets for it at some point. But apparently I was the first one to ever order grommets for this racket, and they weren't actually in stock. So Donnay, after about a week of waiting, Donnay emailed me. They said, hey, the grommets aren't here. They're they're at the factory. They're being shipped. How urgent is this? And I was like, it's not that urgent. I like to get them as quick as I can. Not a big rush. Several weeks went by. They told me they were still delayed. They threw in an extra set for the inconvenience, which is nice. But finally, after about a month, maybe more, grommets. So these are the grommets for a Donnay 2023 Donnay octa-core Pro One 107. If these fit in the old models, this is a huge win. Because there are a lot of people out there that I've talked to online that still have Pro Ones that wish they could play them, but they don't have grommets. They've been, basically chopping up Prince graphite ones and putting them in. So, fingers crossed, we're going to see if these fit. Like I said, when I overlaid them, they looked like they were the same. But that doesn't guarantee anything. That's a good start. The sidebars fit. Oh, that last one's being a little there it goes. Look at that. The sidebars fit. They are dead on, exactly the same. Holy crap, this is great. This is a huge win. Because that means my 1991 model, right? The orange and gray one. I haven't been able to restring this because the grommets are so chewed up that I know if I cut the strings out to redo it, they're done. I'm not going to restring it. So I've just left the strings in it. We might be restringing all 3 of these. Let's see. Other side. Oh, come on. That last one always wants to stick. Come on. Don't be shy. There we go. Bang. Look at that. Those are in. Okay. Throat bridge. 6-hole throat bridge. Come on. I know it'll fit. It lines up. It's the curvature. There we go. Throat bridge is in. It fits. This is going to be the problem. The original did not have a head guard. They didn't have head guards. And this does not, it is not as malleable. It doesn't want to bend as much as the other strips. Is this going to line up? Man, this is close. All right. Oh, throat bridge fell out. Okay, so let's try to, I think what we might try to do is start at the top and work our way around, maybe. Come on, work with me. This is a tighter fit. We are so close. Oh, we are so close with this. It looks like it's a little short on the sides. Like I can get everything, even that first one there. But when I start to come around, stay there. We're gonna have to secure that. Let me get some tape. We're gonna tape that corner down. Like it looks like it'll fit. It is so close. Frustrating. Like to have all the other grommets fit immediately and then to have this one kind of maybe be off by like a millimeter. This is not a good deal. What is wrong with my tape? There we go. Okay. We're going to tape this one down because it's in there. I just wish I had something that could push it in the hole a little bit better. I was looking for an all out my garage and couldn't find anything. That one looks like it might be bent. All right, so we're going to work on this for a minute and see if we can get this solved. And then we'll start back up again and hopefully show you a finished product, guys. Just hang in there. It's been a struggle. It's not, it doesn't want to give. We're going to try something different. We're going to heat it up. We're going to heat it up and see if it will become a little more malleable, a little more flexible in how we want to move it. And then we're going to try again. So, wish me luck. I got it on. I've had to put some tape on it to kind of hold it in place. It was a struggle to get it to where I could line up all the holes. Much better than how it arrived. I'm going to do the same thing with the orange and gray one because its grommets are done as well. I did have to apply the heat gun and kind of stretch it. I got it in as best I could, and then I just heated it up and gave it a little tug, gave it some flex so it would get into those last couple holes. I struggled right here at these last like 4 or 5. Kind of got these all in. It still wants to bulge up here, but it's lined up. They're in there. We've taped it in position so it doesn't pop loose in the meantime till we get it strung. But I think it worked. The sides and, oh, throat popped out. The throat, all perfect line up. There's no reason why the head guard shouldn't line up. If all the sides are matching, some of those are going to, you know, some of those on the sidebars are mains. So they got to line up. That's not going to stay. Anyway. So they're going to line up. But we're going to take the stringer and see what happens, guys. I'm excited. I'm going to do the same thing with my orange and gray one now. Since I know now these should fit that, because that's the same mold. But we are complete. Hopefully soon I will be able to show you a strung finished racket. In any case, if it's nice where you're at, if you have access to indoors, get off the couch and get on the courts, guys. Thanks for tuning in.